Every time they say the Biden family, they're talking about Hunter Biden. It's not like none of this has anything to do with Joe Brandon. I'm going to die. I can't do this anymore. I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't. Why do I speak? What the fuck did I just watch? Let's get to some real news, okay? Kevin McCarthy is finally impeaching Joe Brandon. We've been waiting for this moment. Since Donald Trump got impeached, okay? That Republicans threatened the Democratic Party. They were like, oh, if you fucking impeach our guy, well, guess what? This is going to be hot potato impeachment time. We'll impeach your guy just as hard. And now they're finally doing it. Thank God. Okay? Thank God.
The Speaker now.
House Speaker Kevin McCarthy.
You know, in the months that we were gone and the weeks, House Republicans have uncovered serious and credible allegations into President Biden's conduct. Taken together, these allegations paint a picture of a culture of corruption. Now, here's what we know so far. Through our investigations, we have found that President Biden did lie to the American people about his own knowledge of his family's foreign business dealings.
Wait, what? Like, are they gonna take him down on a technicality? I thought there was gonna be something better here. You know what I mean? I thought that they had something better going on. I love that they were like, Brandon actually 100% worked with Brandon Jr., Hunter Brandon, and was like getting kickbacks. And then when they were like, okay, maybe he didn't do that, there's not enough money. There is no money trail for this. Now they're just saying like, oh, well, he said he didn't know anything about his son's involvement with Burisma. And it's like, I don't get it. Like, yeah, his son worked for a Ukrainian company, and that's what they're trying to hit him on. It's just fucking weak nuts, dude.
Eyewitnesses have testified that the president joined on multiple phone calls.
That's what they're impeaching him on? Dude, that's so stupid. Aw. I thought there was some better shit, dude. God damn it. This is a little bit of a bummer, I'm not gonna lie. This is a bit of a bummer. I thought that there was something a little bit better out here that could like genuinely create content, you know, some mystery, some intrigue, you know, and none of that is happening, and I don't like it. I don't like that at all. That like Hunter Biden called his fucking dad to like prove to the Burisma people that he actually has clout like that with the American government when Joe Brandon was the vice president and had no fucking clue what was going on. Like, and Hunter's like, everybody shut up. I'm calling my dad. I'll prove to you. Shh, don't say anything. Here, it's on speakerphone. Like, that's what they're hitting him with. To make matters worse, this was also, I think, happening like while Beau Biden, the non-fail son who died, had cancer. Which I feel like if you're the vice president or any other human being on the planet, you're probably picking up your phone calls from your son because one of them is dying. You know what I mean?
And had multiple interactions. Dinners resulted in cars and millions of dollars into his son's and his son's business partners. We know that bank records show that nearly $20 million in payments were directed to the Biden family members and associates.
Oh, okay, I get it. They're saying, here's the counter to this, okay? If I'm a Democratic Party operative, here's what I'm saying. It seems like the modern day Republican Party, which is historically accurate as well. Like, the Republican Party has never cared about the American workers or even American businesses. Let's be real. But modern day Republican Party seemingly cares more about businesses overseas than they do about businesses in the United States of America. And the fact that they're using government resources in this callous, careless way is expected and yet still frustrating. Are we prosecuting the president? Or are we prosecuting on behalf of Hunter Biden, possibly offering a bad deal to foreign nationals and companies run by foreign nationals? It's like, is the Republican Party in the pocket of Burisma and they are upset that Hunter Biden never actually had the genuine clout and influence over the American government or his father that he claimed he had when he was getting a job? Are you the Better Business Bureau for Ukraine? Why do you care? Yeah, he fucking conned them. He conned the Ukrainian company Burisma into thinking that he had a lot more access than he actually did. He conned some other Chinese emissaries as well into believing that he had a lot more access than he did. Impeachment for having an immoral son, not even illegal. Yeah, it's like, what are we doing? Are we expecting a return on the investment for Burisma? Is that what it is? It's like, well, Burisma invested millions of dollars into this guy, and he never actually ended up giving them anything. Okay. So what's the situation here? It's like, it's patriotic what Hunter Biden did. Okay, what Hunter Biden did is patriotic. Fucking over foreign oligarchs is a tried and true American tradition. Okay, scamming the rest of the planet is what we do. We're Americans, goddammit. What's next? Are you going to prosecute Hunter Biden for owning a weapon, exercising his Second Amendment rights? What's next? Are you going to prosecute Hunter Biden for tax evasion? All tax is theft, I say. Taxation without representation should be illegal, and this goddamn government does not represent me, Hank Pecker, because they're teaching our children homosexual Marxism in schools. I ain't paying no goddamn taxes. And now, these gosh darn Republicans have dropped their principles on a dime. Talking about prosecuting an American citizen for exercising his Second Amendment rights, to protect the first, by the way. Scamming foreign nationals, okay, out of their hard-earned dollars, and doing tax evasion. These are three of the things that I love doing as a gosh darn patriot. Remember when conservatives played a phone call of Joe Biden calling Hunter and being like, I want you to get better, son. I love you so much. Please get help, as a bad thing to do? Yeah.
Shell companies. The Treasury Department alone has more than 150 transactions involving the Biden family and other business associates.
This is pretty funny because, no, it's not the Biden family. It's Hunter Biden. But Hunter Biden technically is a part of the Biden family. So they're doing this nifty little trick here to make it seem like it's the entire family that is like doing criminal misconduct, which unfortunately, due to no regulation in the United States of America for this kind of thing, nepotism and trading in your last name in this regard is like totally legal. Unfortunately. Okay. They don't have any evidence, so they're just kind of doing the same thing that Tucker Carlson did the other day. Remember Tucker Carlson had Larry Sinclair on in that iconic interview that we watched when I was in Mexico. There was a point in that interview where Tucker Carlson played a trick, a rhetorical trick. He said, Larry Sinclair was endlessly persecuted for telling the truth, even though he took a lie detector test. And then he just kind of left it there because while lie detector tests are inadmissible in court and they're dog shit, he failed the lie detector test. But Tucker Carlson did not mention that he failed the lie detector test, simply that he took a lie detector test. He did that because he knows no one is going to fucking question it. No one's going to be like, wait a minute, he took a lie detector test? Let me take a look at what's going on there. Okay? So that's basically what the Republicans are doing after they conducted these investigations. They conducted these investigations. They concluded in those investigations, which they did in behind closed doors, for the record, just so they could technically massage the truth a little bit, that like there is no paper trail that leads back from Hunter Biden to Joe Biden. But now, because there isn't conclusive evidence for this whatsoever, they're trying to impeach the president, and their inquiry revolves around just saying the Biden family got a lot of money. Okay?
Associates that were flagged as suspicious activity by U.S. banks. Even a trusted FBI informant has alleged a bribe to the Biden family. Biden used his official office to coordinate.
Every time they say the Biden family, they're talking about Hunter Biden. It's not like none of this has anything to do with Joe Brandon, as far as I know, as far as I've heard from them, because like this is one of these things where I don't care to know about what the fuck's going on, because like either way I win. You know what I mean? Like, oh man, Hunter Biden or Joe Biden is impeached. Great. That's awesome. Who gives a shit, right? I'm in it for the fun of it, right? But like having said that, I had to learn about this against my will. Okay? And everything that I learned is allowing me to understand exactly what Kevin McCarthy's saying here, which is that every single time he says the Biden family, that is a neat little rhetoric trick to avoid saying Hunter Biden, because this is not impeaching Hunter Biden. This is supposed to be an impeachment inquiry into Joe Biden, the big guy, Mr. Brandon himself. Let's go, Brandon. But they don't want to, they can't say Hunter Biden, so they're just saying the Biden family.
With Hunter Biden's business partners about Hunter's role in Burisma, a Ukrainian energy company. Finally, despite these serious allegations, it appears that the president's family has been offered special treatment by Biden's own administration. Treatment that not otherwise would have received if they were not related to the president. These are allegations of
allegations we've made, such as Joe Brandon offered uppies to Hunter and picked up his phone calls when his brother was dying of cancer. There might have even been a hug at a certain point. There might have been a hug. And when you're the vice president, you don't get to hug people. Okay? Actually, this is all prosecutable.
Of abuse of power, obstruction, and corruption. And they warrant further investigation by the House of Representatives. That's why today I am directing our House committee to open a formal impeachment inquiry into President Joe Biden. This logical next step will give our committees the full power to gather all the facts and answers for the American public. That's exactly what we want to know, the answers. I believe the president would want to answer these questions and allegations as well.
Joe Brandon, sons of fuck up. If that was illegal, my parents would have a life sentence. Yeah, exactly. Also, ironic because like if having a fail son is illegal, literally everyone in Congress is going to jail, because the richer you are, the higher the likelihood that you're going to have a fail son. And all of these fucking corrupt dipshits have fail sons and fail daughters. Like, literally, including Hillary Rodham Clinton, as a matter of fact.
This effort will be led by Chairman James Comer.
Marjorie Taylor Greene letting McCarthy hit it raw for this? No, she's not letting McCarthy hit it raw for that. She's letting McCarthy hit it raw for, better for a committee position.
At the Committee on Oversight, in coordination with Chair.
And also, I think she's doing it on her own volition. Like, that's the other thing. Like, she is a bit of a freak. This is something I stand by. Like, I don't think Marjorie Taylor Greene is just like having sex with Kevin McCarthy specifically in a careerist, opportunist way. I think she's doing it because she loves fucking and sucking and cheating on whoever her significant other is at the time. which currently happens to be the Newsmax sicko. No, the Right Side Broadcasting Network sicko. I don't want your Congress fanfic. I mean, at a certain point, it's not fanfic. I think she definitely enjoys just like being in a polycule, but she can't do that because you can't be in a polycule openly and like run as a Republican. You know what I mean?
Chairman Jim Jordan for Judiciary Committee and Chairman Jason Smith on Ways and Means. Now, I do not make this decision lightly. And regardless of your party or who you voted for, these facts should concern all Americans. The American people deserve to know that the public offices are not for sale.
Oh, yes, the hallmark of a democratically popular decision, avoiding a House floor vote to begin the investigation because you can't pass it among your own House majority. I see nothing wrong with this. The House is not expected to vote on an impeachment inquiry, sources tell me. They will open the inquiry without a vote. This would have been a tough vote for House Republicans. McCarthy will announce this shortly at his news conference. You want to know something really funny about this, by the way? Not to be too much like a Trump guy. You know how like Trumpers always say like, oh, this investigation or this like, this new indictment is going to, you know, breathe fire into Donald Trump's campaign. But like, this does literally make Biden look vibrant. Okay? Like right now, what is Joe Brandon's biggest weakness? Okay? Ironically, not one that is even in consideration for Donald Trump, despite the fact that they have, 2 years between them? It's his age, that he's old, that he's a decrepit carcass. Anything that moves the conversation away from Joe Brandon being a decrepit carcass is unironically going to help him. Okay? So if the conversation revolves around the media being like, these guys are just attacking Joe Brandon falsely. They're criticizing him for having a fail son. Having a fail son is not illegal. You know what I mean? All this shit completely moves away the conversation from the one fucking major weakness that he has. A weakness that is so apparent. A weakness that is so apparent that, like, you're seeing him suffering internally in his own party. Like, there was no appetite for Brandon to run again. That's your hope, but the polls say otherwise? What do you mean, my hope? My hope is what? You think polls are saying that Brandon is a solid candidate? What polls? Literally leading up, like, until a couple months back, 75% of the Democratic Party's voters said they don't think Brandon should run again. Every single poll so far has shown. A lot of people think he's old as fuck. He's a husk. Wait, what? I'm going to die. I can't do this anymore. I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't. Why do I speak? Why do I use language? Why do I explain myself? Literally every single fucking day for 8 hours when motherfuckers will come in here, okay? Motherfuckers will come in here and repeat exactly what I said while I'm saying it and then turn around and say it in a contentious manner like they're actually fucking debating me on it. What the hell is going on? You just repeated what I'm saying. That chatter was right. This would be an hour stream if you never repeated yourself. Yeah, I mean, actually. I think what he meant is that the impeachment is not good for Biden. No, I do think that because he's an old-ass husk, anything that moves the conversation, anything that shifts the conversation away from Brandon being an old-ass husk who is not exactly electable is going to yield positive results for him. Because that is universally his biggest weakness right now. This happened, yeah, the Bill Clinton effect. Yeah, exactly. I don't think it's going to shift that convo is what I'm saying. I mean, it has happened in the past, so we'll see.
And that the federal government is not being used to cover up the actions of a politically associated family. Now, I would encourage the president and his team to fully cooperate with this investigation in the interests of transparency. We are committed to getting the answer.
Oh my God. This New York Times pitch bot take with another incredible banger. At age 78, when he took office in 2021, Joe Biden was too old to be an effective president. Donald Trump will make an excellent president when he takes office at age 78 in 2025. Now, this is a really good account that does like New York Times pitch pop parodies to make fun of the New York Times. But the reason why I clicked on it is not to show you this funny little goof and gaff. It's to show you that blue check marks are literally so fucking stupid. Okay? In any other structure, they would be put down. Okay? Like if things were like 3 to 4% different throughout history, like we would be culling the blue check marks. Okay? And I don't even mean like literally culling them. Physically, culling them. I mean, like, they would just die on their own because they would forget to fucking breathe, okay? Like, how are you this stupid? How can you be physically this dumb? He thinks you're a leftist Bernie bro hack that is standing in the way of democracy by supporting Bernie, but that part is fine because it's true. I do hate democracy, and I do love Bernie Sanders, and I do think that Bernie Sanders should destroy the bourgeois dictatorship and institute a dictatorship of the proletariat in the United States of America. And I am in support of these statements. But if you are to say that I am a Donald Trump supporter, that's like fucking delusional. No, this part is literally, unironically, completely removed from Bernie Sanders support. This isn't just like you love Bernie, that's why you want Trump, that's why, you're allowing Trump to win. This person unironically thinks that I am a Trump supporter. Not surprising, you MAGAs are coming so hard over this. The MAGA crowd will love it. Mitch is an a-hole, but he keeps the reins over Trump, which you MAGAs hate. You are such a MAGA. You MAGAs hate McConnell and love the babbling idiot Trump. You are a MAGA idiot. Okay, here's what I don't understand. Why can't the fucking dumb baboons on the right think that I love Trump and like come in here with support instead of like trying to fucking constantly kill me? Why is it always like the liberal idiots that think I'm a Trump supporter? Okay, let's finish this.
For the American public. Nothing more, nothing less. We will go wherever the evidence takes us. Thank you.
All right, Kevin McCarthy making the statement. He's endorsing an impeachment inquiry be launched into President Biden and obviously in light of the investigations into Hunter Biden, his son. This is a big moment, as John, you were just talking about with Lauren Fox and David Chalian about what this now really kickstarts, which is a bit of an unclear process of where this exactly goes in this moment.
To be clear, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy
Yep, I've been waiting for someone to come in here and confront you on this. It's an easy mistake for people who can't read the nuance of your satire and sarcasm. Oh God, I'm sad, man. I don't know. That made me kind of sad. Please stop defending that chatter. I have been cutting left wing outside of the boundaries of the Democratic Party, like leftist agitative propaganda for almost 10 fucking years. Okay? The last 10 years of my life has been dedicated to political activism and trying to communicate in a better way leftist values. Okay? 10 fucking years. I've been doxxed, harassed endlessly over the course of those 10 years. My family has been harassed for the crime of doing this specific thing. And there are still motherfuckers who are literally, and by the way, it is super consistent, okay? Like incredibly fucking consistent. Like, that's why I show videos from like 2015, 2016, and I'm saying the exact same things back then as I am now. And there are still people who are just like, nope, you must be fucking a Trump supporter. Not to belittle your abilities, but your sarcasm and irony isn't bespoke, and I'm an A-word coded millennial accountant with MBAs in accounting and finance. I don't know. I don't know what to say about this. All right, let's just listen to what these guys are
Till this
saying.
point has said that he believed that a vote was necessary on the House floor to launch an impeachment inquiry. I did not hear him say there he's going to call for a vote to begin an impeachment inquiry in the House of Representatives. He said he was directing the inquiry to begin. We're going to get some more details on it if we heard that right there. But again, this kicks off, presumably, a process here that will be very political. That up until now, we have not been presented with any evidence directly that President Biden himself did.
This part is literally true, by the way. The libs over at fucking Clinton News Network are actually correct.
Anything wrong here? But
that's the key part about this.
Yes.
The investigations have been going on through a couple of committees. I think he mentioned that Judiciary and Ways and Means will be part of this. But what has been, even despite what the speaker said right there has been no direct evidence that Joe Biden himself has personally profited off of his son Hunter Biden's foreign work. That is what is the direct evidence of that connection. There is a question that kind of there's a big gap here for them to present in this inquiry.
There is a big gap in evidence, and you heard him lay out Biden talking about, accusing him of lying to the American people. That's a very different thing than having evidence that there was something of malfeasance going on between him, Hunter, and Hunter's business partners. Let us go now to Manu Raju, who is always there, on time, ready to go. Manu, what was your takeaway from what you heard at this point?
Yeah, one big thing is that he did not say that there'd actually be a vote to open up an impeachment inquiry. Remember, it's on September 1st, that's when Kevin McCarthy told Breitbart News, the conservative news outlet, that there would actually be a vote on the House floor to open up a formal impeachment inquiry. He did not say that just now. In fact, he said that he was directing that key House committee, the House Oversight Committee, to open up an impeachment inquiry. Now, one big reason why perhaps the Speaker is not moving in the direction of having a vote, he does not have enough support, a majority of the House, to open up an impeachment inquiry at the moment. That's because there are a number of Republicans, including ones in swing districts, and some conservatives like Ken Buck of Colorado, who are skeptical about moving forward with an impeachment inquiry. That means that there were actually a vote to formally open up this probe going forward. At the moment, he would not have 218 votes, since Democrats would vote against it, and more than 4 Republicans would vote against it as well. So he is now telling the House Oversight Committee to move forward. And one big reason why there is not the support at the moment is because of the fact that they have yet to come up with definitive proof or evidence to suggest that Joe Biden took official action as vice president to aid his son Hunter Biden, or that Joe Biden profited in any way by Hunter Biden's business dealings and this allegations of a pay-to-play scheme. They have simply not proven yet, which is why there is a number of members who are skeptical, not just in the House, but also Senate Republicans as well. So McCarthy here, though, still taking a very significant step by opening up an impeachment probe. Remember, if Joe Biden is in fact impeached, he would just be the 4th president in American history to be charged with high crimes or misdemeanors. Donald Trump, of course, was impeached twice over 2 separate issues, but that is still a ways away. Now we are going into the part of the impeachment investigation where they have to actually continue to gather evidence, try to build the case against Joe Biden, and try to charge him with high crimes or misdemeanors, and then try to get the votes in the House to do that. That is still a very, very heavy lift for Kevin McCarthy. But this action today, in some ways, being pushed by the far right of his conference, which has been very vocal at this moment for the Speaker to move ahead on this issue. The Speaker aligning himself with that faction in his conference to move ahead with this impeachment inquiry. Now the question is, what evidence will they gather? Will they actually have a vote either to formalize this inquiry at some point or to actually impeach the president? All major, major questions facing the Speaker at this moment as he announces this historic move.
All right, Manu Raju, stand by for us, obviously, because we are getting more information as this all develops. I want to bring in CNN political director David Chalian again. The House Speaker says he is directing the beginning of an official impeachment inquiry.
Yeah, they're beginning to start thinking about the impeachment. So what are our Republicans saying when asked the question, what kind of evidence do you have to impeach Joe Biden? Like, this seems sick. Like, we love it. We're the media. We love the media. Don't we love it, folks? Right? So what kind of evidence do the Republicans have? So here is Representative Scott Perry, Republican from Pennsylvania and a Freedom Caucus chair, addressing some of these concerns from the lying fake news media.
Would do that. I don't think it'd be appropriate. All right, last question. Yes, ma'am.
Can I just ask, what actual evidence do you have as opposed to allegations?
British immediately discarded, opinion discarded.
To show to the American public that would merit an actual impeachment inquiry of Joe Biden and prove that today isn't just about some of you.
Oh, I don't know.
McCarthy for the sake of enacting political revenge.
This isn't about political revenge. We have the bank accounts. We can see, ma'am, you can see that the homes that the Bidens own can't be afforded on a congressional or Senate salary. You also understand that it's not normal for family members to receive millions of dollars from overseas interests. Those things aren't normal. That's not normal to have 20 shell companies. These things are not normal, and it alludes to not only just...
Yeah, but like, that's not Joe Biden. That's Hunter Biden. Like, I don't get it. Like, what the fuck? Okay, I'm all in for this. Let's go after every single elected representative living over their salary. I mean, first of all, I do agree with that. We should do that. I think that they should universalize this principle. They should just turn around and you know, pull a Apple USB-C charger thing and just decide that like any congressperson that's like living in a fucking nice house, I think they should arrest them. I agree. I'm not even saying this in a sarcastic manner. I 100% agree that they should do that. Except they're like, oh, wow, they're doing this for the Biden family. And then you're like, okay, what do you mean by the Biden family? And the answer is, oh, they mean Hunter Biden.
Widespread corruption, but money laundering, if not influence peddling itself. And we also have the president, the vice president at the time, on record saying that the prosecutor was fired. Well, son of a bitch, the prosecutor was fired, right? Because the prosecutor was going after the company that his son was working on.
No, he was doing the opposite. Like, this part of the process is really stupid. Like, and this is not new information. I talked about this literally back when the perfect phone call with Ukraine was the reason why Trump was getting impeached. He's like, dude, the prosecutor was investigating Burisma. That's why they wanted to fire him. So does that mean that like the entirety of the international community, the American State Department, the CIA, everyone that was interested in, everyone that was interested in Ukraine in some way, civil society organizations, the IMF, the World Bank, they all were manipulated by Hunter Biden into wanting the American government to apply pressure to Ukraine to fire this prosecutor who was not prosecuting, but instead holding up the prosecution of Burisma. Like, it is the exact opposite of what they are claiming.
That's what we have. If you can't see...
That's like if someone says, oh, that's just Nancy Pelosi's husband who trades, not Nancy herself. Did you just liken information trading happening between a seated representative and her husband, a thing that every congressperson does, which should be illegal, which unfortunately also is not illegal for the record, okay, to Hunter Biden claiming that he has inside access to Burisma and then getting a fat fucking salary from this corrupt Ukrainian energy company, okay, and then having his dad be pressured by every civil society organization, the IMF, the World Bank, into firing the prosecutor that was holding up investigations into Burisma. The prosecutor was literally doing the exact opposite thing that they are suggesting. Insider trading is actually illegal? Yeah, okay. Explain that to Congress.
See that. If you are that blind, look, I'll turn it over to the attorneys.
People can't see that. They think it's political revenge.
It's because you don't report on it.
You're not,
We're here reporting on it today.
I'm not sure how you know what the American people think, but here's what they might wonder. Actually, if you're a federal prosecutor, you would be...
I don't understand. Like, I'm still kind of shocked by what that chatter said. the chatter who was like, this is exactly like when, Paul Pelosi trades on information that he's getting from Nancy Pelosi. Brother, Paul Pelosi is not making bad trades, okay? Do you understand? Like, it would be like if Nancy Pelosi was learning information in closed-door closed-door meetings in the House of Representatives, and then feeding the exact opposite information to Paul Pelosi so that Paul Pelosi would make the wrong trade. Okay? Because if Hunter Biden had any influence over Joe Biden's decisions when Joe Brandon was vice president, okay, then Joe Brandon would not have moved to fire the Ukrainian prosecutor, because the Ukrainian prosecutor at the time was holding up a UK investigation into Burisma. Do you get it? Do you understand what I am saying? Okay, fair, I get it now. Oh, well, that's awesome. Someone who wrote something in the chat actually understood what I was trying to say.
Inquiry, and that would be a change from saying he wants a vote on an impeachment inquiry, David. What are the politics of this for both President Biden, obviously, for whom there will now be an impeachment inquiry into him, which obviously that's profound implications there, but also Kevin McCarthy, because clearly both are at play at this moment.
No doubt about that, John. I mean, the White House has been girding for this, as you know. They have staffed up around this notion. It had been telegraphed for quite some time that McCarthy was moving in this direction. So they are prepared for what are uncertain politics, right? I mean, as we saw with Bill Clinton and Donald Trump, when they were actually impeached and we watched that process move forward, at times it helped them politically. They were able to rally support to their side when they were the focus of
Army 77, thank you for the 5 gifted subs.
A House impeachment process. Again, we have no idea if it will actually get to that. And to Manu's point about the immediate politics for McCarthy, the reason you heard him say that he was directing a committee to launch an inquiry and not here's a vote that is scheduled now to go to the floor is because immediately he doesn't have that political support. So he's going to have to deal with that own sort of very fast approaching internal House Republican conference politics for him, which is that he doesn't have a unanimity of support for this effort, clearly, or he wouldn't be going this route. But then there's going to be the politics of how do you move through this in a way that doesn't necessarily blow up in your face, given, as you all have said, we have not seen any evidence, hard evidence, directly connecting wrongdoing on the part of then Vice President Biden, now President Biden, and Hunter Biden's business dealings or the ongoing Hunter Biden investigation. Now, I want to add one thing, though. What Kevin McCarthy does have in this moment on his side is...
I just want to point out something, and you know, I want people to understand where I'm coming from here. I want this to continue because it's really funny. I know it's stupid, and I don't think this will actually have tangible harm. If anything, I suspect that this might genuinely move the conversation away from Joe Brandon's worst qualities, which is how old he is, and the conversation is going to move away from that. But it's cool. I want to see what they cook up with this.
Is public opinion. I mean, we just released a poll last week, and we saw that despite that lack of evidence having been presented, a majority of Americans believe something afoot here. I mean, 55% in our poll said they think President Biden has...
All right, joining me now is...
Oh, let's hear from, before we move on from this, because this proceeding is still happening in this... There's a lot of fun little Senate proceedings occurring currently. But before we move away from this, I want to see what John Fetterman has to say about Speaker McCarthy moving forward with a House impeachment inquiry into POTUS.
Ask you about this news that Speaker McCarthy has formally launched an impeachment inquiry, or has said he's going to.
Oh my God, really? Oh my gosh, it's devastating. Ooh, don't do it. Please don't do it. Oh no.
So we're going to run back to the office, but
I love that he's just like walking around, this fucking hulking man, and he's walking around in like the absolute nuttiest fit. The absolute nuttiest fucking fit. I love it. I'm on board. I like the John Fetterman stash too. Remember when Republicans were unironically saying that his head was he had a head transplant or something? God, people are so crazy. Here's how Republicans are handling the Kevin McCarthy situation. The Never Kevers are fucking back.
On this very floor in January, the whole world witnessed a historic contest for House Speaker. I rise today to serve notice. Mr. Speaker, you are out of compliance with the agreement that allowed you to assume this role. The path forward for the House of Representatives is to either bring you into immediate total compliance or remove you pursuant to a motion to vacate the chair.
Yes, let's go. Do it, baby. Do it. Fucking do it, pussy. Never Kevers are back. Hold on, I gotta take a photo of Kaya being so intensely cute.
We have had no vote on term limits or on balanced budgets as the agreement demanded and required. There's been no full release of the January 6 tapes, as you promised. There has been insufficient accountability for the Biden crime family. And instead of cutting spending to raise the debt limit, you relied on budgetary gimmicks and rescissions so that you ultimately ended up serving as the valet to underwrite Biden's debt and advance his spending agenda. Mr. Speaker, you boasted in January that we would use the power of the subpoena and the power of the purse. But here we are, 8 months later, and we haven't even sent the first subpoena to Hunter Biden. That's how you know that the rushed and somewhat rattled performance you just saw from the Speaker isn't real. At this point, during Democrat control over the House of Representatives, they had already brought in Don Jr. 3 times. And we haven't even sent the first subpoena to Hunter Biden. Power of the subpoena and power of the purse. Only thing the 118th Congress is known for at this point is electing Kevin McCarthy Speaker and underwriting Biden's debt. And unfortunately, there's only one of those things we can remediate at this time. Power of the purse.
Let's go. Let's fucking go. I love the chaos unfolding. Congress is back. And what that means is they're going to be nutty. They're going to get nutty with it. They're going to get unhinged with it. Here is my favorite senator from my favorite state, Louisiana, Senator John Kennedy, who once famously said, "Oh, you want to fucking defund the police? Next time there's a crime happening, call a crackhead." That's literally a ad that he cut out. One of the best certified banger classics from the Republican side. Let's take a look at what he's talking about. J.D. Vance covered important issues earlier in the Senate today as well. J.D. Vance wants to push for a ban on mask mandates. So that's pretty cool. And here is how Senator John Kennedy is spending his time today. Okay, let's take a look.
All boys aren't blue. And I will quote from it. I put some lube on and got him on his knees. And I began to slide into him from behind. I pulled out of him and kissed him while he masturbated. He asked me to turn over while he slipped a condom on himself. This
is fucking awesome. So here's the thing, okay? Now that I heard him read this out loud, I think that just fiction or nonfiction memoirs in general should all be banned. I think the person who wrote this, by the way, is literally, this is a HasanAbi head, George M. Johnson. And this is his like a memoir that he's reading as though this is like some kind of pornographic material. This is a memoir from George M. Johnson. This can't be real. Stop. Oh no, this is very real. Let's keep watching.
This was my ass, and I was struggling to imagine someone inside me. He got on top and slowly inserted himself into me. It was the worst pain I think I have ever felt in my life. Eventually, I felt a mix of pleasure with the pain. Close quote. All boys aren't blue.
There's more.
It's called genderqueer. Okay? Let me read an excerpt from that. Quote, I got a new strap-on harness today. I can't wait to put it on you. It will fit my...
Okay, by the way, people who are saying like, oh, I can never listen to your stream at work without headphones. Brother, Senator John Kennedy is currently at work. Okay? This is him at work. This is on C-SPAN. This is on C-SPAN.
My favorite dildo perfectly. You're going to look so hot.
I'm sorry. Coming out of that pause was so perfect.
Perfectly. You're going to look on you. It will fit my favorite dildo perfectly. It will fit my favorite dildo perfectly.
Oh, God, this is so fire. Oh, it's so good. It's so fucking good.
The words you spoke are disturbing, especially coming out of your mouth is very disturbing. But what I would expect, Senator.
I put some lube on and got him on his knees. And I began to slide into him from behind. A new strap-on harness today. I can't wait to put it on you.
Oh. Oh, it's so good. It's so fucking good. Anyway, make no mistake. The only reason why they're talking about this is because it's like a fucking dumbass distraction. But that also partially plays a role in this.
The one issue I think that is so against our senses, so against the natural law, and dare I...
is his freakishly fucking sized head and his comically small eyes on that massive fucking dome. Comically small eyes that are so close to one another. Like every aspect of his fucking face is just like sucked in.
I say a throbbing middle finger to God is the transgender thing happening in America right now. We are in a church, and so it's important to remember Deuteronomy 22:5, a woman shall not wear a man's garment, nor shall a man put on a woman's cloak.
I love this because it's like they literally think it's illegal to wear pants. Okay? I love hitting like 18th century sexism as well. Because a lot of the dumbasses in that fucking church right now, they're like, hell yeah, you're right, Charlie Kirk. You're such a nice boy. Like, bitch, you're wearing pants. That's a male's garment. You fucking idiot. You dumb fucking idiot. Did you wear pants to the fucking church? Guess what? You're getting smitten down by the Lord.
For whoever does these things is an abomination to the Lord your God. You hear that, William Thomas?
Like, people act like that is like an own on transgender people, right? But like that quite literally was, at least throughout history, seen as like a reason as to why it's illegal for women to wear pants, okay? And also, have you seen our fucking founding fathers? You dumb bitch. Those motherfuckers were gender bending like crazy, okay? They had powdered wigs. The fuck are you talking about? They looked gay as hell, dog. They looked fucking gay as hell. They wore heels. They wore makeup. Get the fuck out of here. That's why this whole notion of like gender norms is so fucking stupid. There is no consistency in gender norms throughout time, and there is not even consistency in gender norms right now in different fucking cultures. Ironic because this dumbass is also wearing mixed fabrics right now as he's talking shit.
You're an abomination to God.
Here is Fox News. Play this diatribe to anyone who hasn't mainline Fox News 12 hours a day for the past couple of years, and I bet they won't have a clue about even a tenth of what Jesse Waters is saying here. Yeah.
Okay, so Putin's billionaire buddy wires the Biden family $3.5 billion, and then they sit down for dinner with Joe Biden, and then Biden leaves her off the sanctions list twice. Right there, you could open an impeachment inquiry. Or how about when Joe Biden flies his son to China, he comes back with a bucket of cash, and then gets on the, hey, guys, you better pay up the rest or my dad's going to get revenge on you. And what do you know? Joe Biden starts writing the communist Chinese guy's daughter's recommendations to get into Brown. And then they grease the regulatory process so the Chinese can buy an American car company. Oh, yeah, and then Hunter gets that diamond for about $75,000 that he lost. Because if Malia Obama got a diamond and then President Obama went soft on the country that gave it to him, I'm sure that would not be a big deal at all. And then who else do we have? We have Biden flies his son down to Mexico City. Hunter meets with the president of Mexico and Carlos Slim, comes back with money, and then complains, guys, I've gotten all of your...
It doesn't seem like the left is triggered. It seems like you're triggered. Anyway, schizo-alting. Yeah. So it's always funny because they keep posting Biden dubs, like Hunter Biden dubs, like nonstop. Okay. And this is the funniest fucking Hunter Biden dub. Like they're saying he is the greatest foreign interest lobbyist on the planet. Like no one, Paul Manafort could not even imagine having a crumb of the influence that Hunter Biden has had on the entire Obama administration. Like Hunter Biden was running the fucking show. He was literally the shadow president. Okay? I'm sick and tired of acting like that is not the case. Okay? Let's keep it $150, chat. Hunter Biden was the shadow president under Barack Obama. He said Hunter Biden is the reason why a Chinese auto manufacturer opened up a facility in America, which I believe he's talking about the factory, the one that was presented in the Obama documentary. Like Hunter Biden did that. It's awesome. No, he definitely. Yeah, the one in Ohio, yeah.
Clients into the White House to meet with my dad, and you haven't paid me a dime. Where's the cash? They can't answer those three situations. So I can't wait till they have to answer about the burner phones, the 20 shell companies, or Joe Biden on a voicemail saying, son, I read the Times piece about your shady deals in China. You're in the clear. Now, how would he even know if he was in the clear if he didn't know what his son did? And how do you not know what your son did if you call your son every day for the last 20 years? Hey, son, how'd you get the Porsche Panorama? Hey, son, where did you get all the money to take me to St. Croix 8 times in a row? Did you know that the Bidens vacationed in St. Croix, notorious tax shelter, 8 seasons in a row? I mean, Joe didn't pay for that. That money was coming from Hunter or from Jimmy. And Jimmy was putting his brother up at a nice Naples resort that he purchased right off the coast. Who paid?
They don't have to answer those situations because these aren't crimes. Yeah.
Paid for that? Jimmy's a scam artist. He doesn't do anything. And then all of a sudden, well, he didn't do anything to return the money. Well, he didn't pop the Chinese spy balloon, covered up for the lab leak. He's been covering up for all the countries that have been paying his family. So they're going to have to answer for all of this. There's a mountain of evidence that they can't confront.
He's on fire, dude. These guys are, yeah. These are crimes, except they're not, unfortunately. But they should be. The Biden administration has a literal trump card to play against the House GOP impeachment inquiry. In 2020, Trump's DOJ issued a binding legal opinion that impeachment inquiries are invalid without an official vote of the House. Oh, no. Is this yet another fucking moment where the Trump campaign or the Trump administration fucked it up? Has the stadium ever endured a worse 24 hours? Yeah, probably one in Santiago, Chile. Jesus. She wrecked them here too.
Ways, I am thoroughly entertained by Jesse's diatribe, and I learned some new things. But it's strange that members of the Republican Party who serve in Congress don't agree with him. So much so that they're on record saying things like this. David Joyce, Congressman, I'm not seeing the facts or evidence. Dusty Johnson, there's a constitutional and legal test that you have to meet with evidence, and I haven't seen it. Don Bacon, there should be a direct link to the president and some of the evidence. I think we need to have more concrete evidence to go down that path. And then Ken Buck, the time for impeachment is the time when there's evidence linking President Biden. And I don't think that evidence has been presented. Now, these are not people who are Democrats. They're not members of the lamestream media or whatever you want to call it. Those are Republican Congress people. Kevin McCarthy, I guess, has amnesia. He has short-term and long-term. Last Friday, he told Breitbart that there would be no impeachment inquiry without a vote. He also, in 2019, went after Nancy Pelosi, saying if she was going to have an impeachment inquiry without a vote, it would create a process completely devoid of any merit or legitimacy. Well, welcome to the circus, Kevin McCarthy. That's what you've done. Nancy Pelosi did have that vote on October 31st in 2019.
Problem is, Kevin doesn't.
McCarthy has made too many promises to too many lunatics.
Problem is, Kevin doesn't. So how the fuck is he going to do that? And the never-Kevers, who definitely want impeachment inquiries to go forward, still hate Kevin McCarthy more than they want the impeachment inquiries to go forward. So what the fuck are you going to do? This is why I love the never-Kevers and have been a supporter of the never-Kevers, even though they ended up failing.
Marjorie Taylor Greene. I hear this, Politico's reporting this afternoon that Donald Trump was on the phone with Elise Stefanik, number 3 in the conference, the GOP conference chair, talking about impeachment. He continues to do Donald Trump's bidding. Now, I return to where I started. No one wants an impeachment inquiry. It's never fun. It's not going to help anything. But it is going to show that the GOP is a fiercely unserious party. They have to keep the government open. That should be the priority. You should, I don't know, have some plans to make life better for the American people. But no, you're going to spend the next several months, by the way, collecting evidence. You've been doing that for 9 months already. You just haven't come up with anything.
Where's the diamond?
Because the diamond, I wish I had
let's get the judge in, because the evidence that they're looking for, if it exists, it has been blocked from access by
the Biden family.
Right.
Wait, what? No, it hasn't. What? What are they saying?
At once. They can barely do one thing at once. If you look at the border and you look at crime and you look at the economy. So they completely screwed our country when it came to COVID. Where am I? Obviously, all of the evidence on Trump was coming from Adam Schiff, which he wasn't even able to display. And he got away with that. So if the media cries and the Democrats bellow, I say, to quote Barack Obama, you built that. So STFU, I won't tell you what that stands for, Dana, because you're...
Wait, what? It was a phone call. What? Bro, there is a direct phone call between Trump and Ukrainian authorities where he literally is saying, I'm going to stop giving you aid that Congress signed up on unless you give me dirt on the person I'm running up against, potentially, Joe Biden. And Donald Trump was the president when he did that. He was the commander in chief. Like, I don't give a shit, okay, about like the implications of like refusing to give aid to Ukraine or whatever, or I don't think it's the most pressing matter at the time. But it's ridiculous to be like, there's no evidence. Like, what do you mean? It was documented.
Or a sophisticated lady. The fact is, everything that the Democrats accused Trump of, they've done. Corrupt family, Biden. Influence peddling, Biden. Sowing conflict and hate among the American public, Biden. Lying like a Nigerian prince, Biden. So if anybody deserves this, it's him. In prison, I hope he dies. His hair, so he looks better. And I want to just bring us back to the first impeachment where it was about the perfect phone call. Now we know that he was right. That there was something fishy going on with Joe Biden and with the Ukraines, and the Dems was like, oh my God, this. And now we know they're right. That he was right all along. He was wrongly accused. It was.
Yeah, we should actually unimpeach him. We should go back in time. The pressure campaign that Joe Biden put on Ukraine, on the Ukrainian prosecutor in the Burisma case, in the situation that is related to Burisma, was widely celebrated by everyone that had Western stakes in Ukraine, okay? There was an interest in changing Ukrainian politics, or at least making Ukraine, what the fuck am I saying at this point? I'm like losing my mind. Making Ukraine more Western friendly. Okay? Ukraine! Making Ukraine more Western friendly, moving them away from the Russian sphere of influence. Okay? Question?
Please, sir, I need more bullets, bigger weapons. Come on, sir. Bigger weapons. Come on, sir. Please. Come on.
What the fuck did I just watch?
The guilty party that then accused him. So you now know that after months and months and months and months of being told that all of Europe wanted the Ukrainian prosecutor out, no one can name these people. They'll come up with one or a few.
Wait, what? Yes, they can. Are they just saying that this is a lie? Like, what the fuck? Oh, my camera's broken. Let me name institutions. The entire prosecution team in the UK that was literally fucking investigating Burisma when the Ukrainian prosecutor was refusing to cooperate with them, which allowed Burisma executives to get away and take out millions of dollars worth of assets without the UK prosecutors actually seizing on their assets. He held that he single-handedly worked to hold that investigation back. Okay? It's not just that, though. IMF, World Bank, every civil society organization, that had interests in Ukraine, whether you agree with them or not, or whether they were working alongside the CIA or not, does not matter, was calling on Ukraine to fire this prosecutor. Okay? They all celebrated that Ukraine fired the prosecutor. There were people in Ukraine that wanted the prosecutor gone. Partially because, or I think, and this is me putting my foreign policy hat on for a moment. I think partially they wanted him gone because he was playing the middle of the road game. He was a institution for many years, and he wasn't playing by Western interests as hard as they wanted him to, and he was certainly corrupt as well. But just like everyone else is fucking corrupt, he just wasn't corrupt in the way. He wasn't corrupt in the way that he was almost always defending Western interests in Ukraine. Okay? That's it. CNN's K-File found a February 2016 bipartisan letter signed by several Republican senators that urged the then Ukrainian president, Petro Poroshenko, to press ahead with urgent reforms to the Prosecutor General's office and the judiciary. Remember, we knew about this back then when the impeachment process was being pushed for. Envoys pushed to oust Ukraine prosecutor before Biden. This is from the Financial Times. The Republican Party wanted this to happen. Trump called the 2016 dismissal of the Ukrainian prosecutor unfair in his July 25th call to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, saying, a lot of people are talking about the way that they shut your very good prosecutor down and you had some very bad people involved. I don't think fucking Zelensky liked the former prosecutor. He was Poroshenko's guy, and before that, I think many people was Putin. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Trump is that far in the pocket, but it's so fucking stupid. Here, the 2016 letter sent by members of the Senate Ukraine caucus was signed by Republican Senators Rob Portman, Mark Kirk, and Ron Johnson, as well as Democratic Senators Dick Durbin, Jeanne Shaheen, Chris Murphy, Sherrod Brown, and Richard Blumenthal, and focused on longstanding issues in corruption in Ukraine and urged reforms of the government. Pretty sure Ukraine was considered pretty corrupt by a lot of groups left and right till the war happened. Of course Ukraine is corrupt. But in which direction? Okay? Ukraine was always corrupt and will continue to be corrupt. A country that is a former Soviet nation is always going to have some corruption baked into its nation building efforts. Okay? Partially our fault, for the record. A lot of nations are corrupt. Every nation is corrupt in a different way. It's just, which direction does that corruption go? If it's corruption that is being controlled and manipulated by a Russian sphere of influence in a nation that you want to manipulate and bring in to the Western sphere of influence, and you are giving a lot of support and money to that nation, and you want to oust certain loyalists from the government, this is what you would do. This does not mean that this prosecutor was a good person. He 100% was a corrupt person, okay? Communism was corrupt, Omegalol? No, man. Former Soviet fucking nations are oftentimes incredibly corrupt, even though the USSR was also not exactly great either. But having said that, a lot of these post-Soviet Union countries in the Eastern Bloc are awful because of Western intervention. Don't say take, okay? Give me a goddamn break. Like, look, I think I'm very honest about the USSR's brilliant advancements, and also talk about some of the issues as well. It's not perfect. Stop mythologizing a country if you do not understand the mistakes that they engaged in. Yeah, we cheered on shock therapy, which led to corruption. Exactly. When you strip a nation, a powerful nation, of all of its assets, strip mine it, and sell it back off to whatever fucking oligarchs that you are forming that have developed relationships with you in the West, in the fall of this nation. Yeah, the entire nation building project in former Soviet Union Eastern Bloc countries is going to be designed around the interests of oligarchs, Western facing oligarchs. DeSantis torches Biden's Hanoi trip, says Harris is impeachment insurance. Let's take a look.
Presidential candidate. Governor, I found what happened this weekend in Vietnam no longer to be funny. I found it to be extremely disturbing, and the press making any effort to cover for this at this point is even more pathetic, if that's possible.
Well, look, I mean, this is a guy that's stumbling around the world stage. He's projecting weakness. I think our enemies have already taken advantage of that. It's likely to invite even more problems around the world. And so, it's sad. But I think it's obvious that he's been struggling for quite some time. And you're right. The corporate press is going to do whatever they can to run interference for him. And I also look and
I love when motherfuckers are like the corporate press on Fox News. Like, who defends corporate interests harder? I mean, yeah, sure, CNN is dog shit. Mainstream media is dog shit across the board, and they do defend corporate interests. But, like, you're on Fox News. If there's one literal media company that doesn't even try to mask how far down they've shoved the capitalist dick down their fucking throats, it's Fox News. They are deep-throating the goddamn boot every day. And also trying to brainwash they're also trying to brainwash their audience into also deep-throating the fucking boot every day. It is so stupid. So does CNN, ... Shut the fuck up. Shut your stupid fucking whore mouth, okay? Shut your goddamn mouth. If you do not shut your goddamn mouth and stop fucking typing in the chat and open up your fucking ears and clear it out, I'm going to ban you, okay? You cannot keep fucking repeating what I'm saying back to me in a contentious manner, okay? I'm sick and tired of it. It is so fucking frustrating. Like, literally, as I'm in the process of shitting on CNN. Oh, tough guy. Man, shut the fuck up. None of us are tough guys, okay? You literally have an Epic Bacon account that you created in 2016. Like, none of us are tough guys. I'm on fucking Twitch, and you're typing anonymously on Twitch with your stupid fucking Epic Bacon account like it's literally 2004. Stop. I read it upvote to the left, good sir. God damn.
Think about who's waiting in the wings with Kamala. And I think you're right in terms of the aptitude, even though she's a lot younger. I think she's basically been his impeachment insurance because people know no matter how bad Biden is, nobody wants Harris. And that's just the reality. And that's a sad situation America finds ourselves in. Meanwhile, our country is in a state of decline. I mean, we see it across the board in terms of our strength abroad, our economy here at home, our culture, our education system, and Biden's really been the custodian of that decline.
Well, Governor, I think what Americans are really, really worried
about. Yeah, our culture and our education system is in decline, says the fucking governor of Florida, who recently signed off on a deal with PragerU Kids to use PragerU Kids videos as like legitimate education in the Florida schools. I hate this so much. We are devolving at a rapid clip as a society. Okay? It's partially due to the Democratic incompetence, but it's also absolutely related to the never-ending culture war champions on the Republican side working overtime to ensure that at the top of the hour there's a 3-minute ad break and that you have no way of avoiding said ads at the top of the hour. Okay? Now, of course, there is a way to avoid the top of the hour ad break. It's by subscribing for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime, or by getting gifted a sub. They won't teach you that in a PragerU video, but you can learn about that here. Comrade Snips, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. And Graham Waters, thank you for the 10 gifted subs. Here's a 3-minute ad break now.
Worried about is that we don't know who's in charge, who's making these decisions. Do you have a theory about that? Obviously, if you're the nominee and you win, I've known you for a long time. You're going to make the decisions. You always make the decisions. I don't think anyone ever has a doubt about you. But in this White House, do you have a theory who's deciding the big issues?
I think you have a lot of very left-wing aides and staffers in the White House. And I think you have a line to people like Valerie Jarrett, Obama. I think they're all involved behind the scenes pushing him in a very left-wing direction. I mean, his presidency's been more left-wing than Obama's was even, and he presented himself as being a more moderate candidate when he ran in 2020, and I think that's a result of these folks really pushing the envelope. I mean, they just opened a civil rights investigation against the state of Florida, one of our colleges, New College of Sarasota. I appointed conservative trustees. They reoriented the university from being left of the left to being classical education like Hillsdale. And they did things like abolish the gender studies department. And they're now opening up a civil rights investigation against one of our trustees, Chris Rufo, because he misgendered one of the fired employees or fired professors. You've got to be kidding me. They're basically saying that there's a civil right to have.
Hey, idiot. If you hire a fucking absolute dumbass like Chris Rufo, a fucking loser like Chris Rufo, to make decisions on behalf of your state, he's going to almost immediately create a situation where you can be legally prosecuted for violating like codified civil rights in this country, whatever semblance of it. Because he's the type of dumbass who will fire a trans professor and be like, we're firing this trans professor that I'm misgendering for being fucking trans. This is what happens when you go this far into the culture war issues and you actually have to act out this agenda for absolutely no one. Americans are already completely aware that the government is not supposed to do things for them, okay? All you need to do is play the role of, like, dancing around like a monkey in a suit, being like, I hate the trans, I hate trans, I hate trans, and then never really actually act on it. Okay? You fucking idiot. So when you actually do end up doing that, obviously, you're going to run into legal trouble.
Things like gender studies and pronouns in our colleges and universities. No one would have thought that was possible even 5 years ago.
Governor, can we expect you to actually go into urban areas that are predominantly Democrat, with a lot of minority voters who've been skeptical, and they would say for good reason, of the Republicans and their intentions? Will you have, or do you have plans to work to try to gain support among minority and urban voters where Republicans have not done as well as they should have done given the record of the Democrats?
Of course. That's what we did in Florida, Laura. I won Miami-Dade County, which is our most urban county, 2.8 million people. That's more than some states have in population. 70% Latino, also strong African American.
Yeah. You won. First of all, 70% Latino is pretty funny. Just want to mention something here. 70% of Latino people in America consider themselves white. Okay? So that's number one. Something you got to understand. It don't matter. We have a concept called like white Hispanic population for a reason. Okay? So, I mean, especially important to consider when you think about Cubans in Miami-Dade County. Okay? It's even higher in Texas and Florida historically. Exactly. Because the white people didn't want to get grouped up with them. It don't matter. They are now. And it is in the interest of like a white supremacist country to add Latino people into the white demographic, because otherwise white people are no longer the majority in the country, and that's a fucking terrifying prospect. Okay? Anyway, let's continue.
We won it by double digits. A Republican hadn't won it in many, many years. We also won counties like Palm Beach, which a Republican hadn't won in 40 years. And so some of the most heavily urban counties, we were winning in Florida. And so I think the formula is, one, don't pander to people and try to divide them on ethnicity. Treat them and us as Americans. We're all...
Wait. We said we won Palm Beach, which a Republican hasn't done in 40 years. Well, hold on. Am I wrong? Didn't fucking George W. Bush win Palm Beach? I don't know. Technically. Maybe he's just talking about governorship.
We all want the same things. Low crime. We will crack down on crime nationally with the
motherfucker Gizmo Max going www.google.com. Both of my hands are full right now. I'm eating. Okay. The reason why I thought it was interesting for him to say that is like, is he claiming that like Palm Beach was not won by George W. Bush? Like, does he know something that we don't know? You know what I mean?
These Soros-backed prosecutors. I did it in Florida. I'll do it nationally. The border and immigration. Illegal immigration is having a devastating effect on a lot of these urban areas. People are flooding their school systems and hospitals. I'm going to shut the border down. We'll build a wall, and we're going to use lethal force against the Mexican drug cartels, leaving them stone cold dead at the border if they're trying to bring fentanyl in. And then education, Laura. We're doing school choice in every inner city in this country. We did it in Florida. Our results have skyrocketed over the last decade as a result of that. It works, and these kids deserve a chance.
Well, and just yes or no, will we expect campaign appearances in Chicago, you know, South Side,
yes.
L.A., Boston, Hartford? I mean, we're going to see those appearances.
Yes, and I think we have no choice as Republicans, Laura. If every urban area goes 90-10 Democrat, then we have this high wire act to try to squeeze out enough voters. You're not going to win these urban areas, but if you just improve, that is a huge, huge possibility for us.
Governor,
so we will do it.
Final question. Biden spoke in Alaska on his way back from the G20 summit on 9/11 today.
Thank you. In 2000, Gore won Palm Beach County. In an 04 Kerry one, I was wrong. Sorry.
Hey, you're in New York City. He says he was there and it was okay because after Pearl Harbor, people didn't go to Pearl Harbor, every December 7th. So tell us about your trip to New York.
So my wife and I got invited by some of the 9/11 families who we've gotten to know. And so we went. I wasn't in like the VIP section with these politicians. I was walking around the site with the families. We would go to where their family members' names were. And it was really emotional because they're telling stories. And the way they've done it is someone that passed away, the names of people that knew each other close by. So they're telling stories about maybe their father's friends or husband's friends. And so my wife and I were really touched by it, and we are committed. And I also think back to 9/11. That
Bro, he's so bad. He's so bad. Like, he's supposed to be talking about like how touched he is, and it just seems like he's so unemotional. He's so fucking like, come on, guy. Listen, brother. This is entry level, okay? Saying like 9/11 touched my soul is literally what you have to say to run for office, okay, in America. He's such a fucking annoying little sociopath. And I don't mean like the cool Patrick Bateman style sociopath. He's like the annoying bookworm, nerdy sociopath. 9/11 touched my heart. Like Hillary Clinton would say something like that. You know what I mean? Like that straight up comes across like as disingenuous as like fucking Hillary Clinton. 9/11 touched my heart. Well, 9/11 touched Hillary Clinton in a different way. Let's be real. Remember when she went to the memorial and fucking almost died? That was fun. And then everybody started saying, oh, Hillary Clinton's done. Like, she can't even survive. She can't even make it out this goddamn election because she's going to die. Here's the bit they edited out. He's so awkward. What is this? God, dude. Oh, my God. Dude, he's so... Oh, come on, brother. I could go to the fucking 9/11 memorial and have more fans come up. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm known as the 9/11 guy. "9/11 touched my heart. That's why I became the torture overseer for the Navy SEALs." Wait, did we watch all of this?
People know that the vaccine is safe for you.
Oh, yeah, we did. I forgot to finish this, I think. Did I?
But they're bogus sources, okay? Joe took credit for that. So again, it's time for him. We need to also stop pretending that Joe and Hunter's relationship is a familial one. It's a financial one, right? I'm on Team Hunter, not Team Joe. Joe used Hunter to make him rich without getting his hands dirty. So let's not obsess on Hunter. Joe's head of the operation. I'm tired of Hunter getting all the blame when Joe's the dude behind it. It's a political version of Paper Moon. Remember that movie, the parent and kid grift? That's what you're watching right now. So I'm here for this. If that makes me a hypocrite, I'm going to revel in it.
The New York Times, you don't have to put it up, but they basically said the possibility of a federal indictment of Hunter stunned the president. Yet
Greg Gutfeld, despite being a fucking annoying little creature, has better instincts than everyone else on that table, and probably recognizes that, Hunter Biden is a more charismatic figure